You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. How we doing? How we doing? Boy, there's trouble up there in the Big D. That's right, Dallas Wings. What's really going on? You got the Dallas Wings fans have had enough of Kurt Koclanes, right? Head coach of the Dallas Wings. They've dropped 5 straight games, and they just finished up losing to the Washington Mystics and 91-78, and things aren't going well. And I really mentioned that earlier. It's bad business. What's really going on? Coach has got his own mentality, his own way. He told the team, it's not my fault. We need to play sharper. It has nothing to do with my coaching in Dallas. It's just that you're not playing good enough basketball to win. So he threw it back. But here's where it gets a little quirky, because you got the season ticket holders, and these are not ones that are sitting up in the rafters. These are the ones that are sitting courtside, and they're yelling, "We want Nola. We want Nola." And there's calling for the assistant coach to take over the team. Now, normally you don't get these situations this fast, but like I told you, under Kurt Miller, this is bad business they got going on down there in Dallas, and really bad business. Because here's the deal. You had Miller, who got fired out of Los Angeles, but he got promoted. And Money Mike will always try to get someone promoted before we'll get him fired. But he was given the general manager's job up in Dallas, and he's drafted Paige Beckers, which is a pretty high pick to have and not be able to win. And she's also expressing discomfort. Here's where the train came off the tracks, right? Because you draft Elijah James, the point guard, very, very good point guard. And this is just my opinion, but I believe Paige Becker is going to have a longer career as a 2 or a 3 than trying to press her down the throat of being a 1. But nevertheless, Kurt Miller has a mind of his own, and what these guys are doing is some manipulation down there in Dallas. And it's kind of come out. Dejanay Carrington spoke out adamantly about it. They're not trying to win in Dallas. And if you look at the moves that are being made, it's pretty obvious they're not trying to win in Dallas. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. And to the fans, we appreciate you tuning in. We're going to drill it down, and we're going to tell you there's trouble up there in paradise in Dallas, especially with the Dallas Cowboys. And as a Dallas season ticket holder, I'll tell you what, they're expressing their discomfort because they could have bought Dallas Cowboys season tickets, right? Or maybe they already have them. But here's what happened. Dallas made a trade. They brought in Dejanay Carrington. They brought in Alyssa Smith, right? So that was the first move. Then they got a little disrespectful, and I saw Kurt Miller, flat out national TV, get in the face of Dejanay Carrington. And then I saw Kurt Koclanes do the same thing. And I'm talking nose to nose, as close as I am to my microphone, which is inappropriate. And then I saw the officials. They started complaining, well, the officials need security. First of all, folks, I'll tell you something. In the WNBA, when the game is over, the officials don't need security. They should be off the court immediately. Okay, so you make this move in Dallas, and I'm going to walk you through this pattern where everybody started losing disrespect. And you got Elijah James can't get off the bench. Sitting there 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you got 2 guards are basically the same. You got J.J. Quinterly coming out of West Virginia. She could play too, but she's in this escapade that they've created down there in Dallas that the players are turned off, right? The players are turned off. And you got Hines Allen pleading with the fans. That shouldn't happen, folks. That tells you a serious message. But here's the deal. So these players are sitting on the bench, can't get any playing time. Now, you move forward after Dejanay, you trade her off, right? And you got Elijah James comes in, drops 28. And really, she should be traded. She should be moved off. Her representation to say, this is it. I've had my year. Let me get somewhere. Let me go to the Connecticut Sun and play with my teammate, James, over there, and she can get it done, right? I mean, she's proven very fundamental player as a rookie. But they didn't do that, right? They elected to sit her on the bench. Then they want to, okay, Quinterly, you play. We're going to sit on the bench. And here's where the eruption comes in. You bring in Grace Berger. That's right. Grace Berger was drafted by the Indiana Fever. Kurt Miller, by the way, was the head coach of the Indiana women's basketball team, right? So they're doing a manipulation here of playing a player ahead of the other players, and they're taking a loss doing it. And now the players, the women, have shut down because it's an offense to them to play somebody that you know you're better than for the sake of you manipulating a player that's already been cut by two teams in the WNBA. And guess what? Now she's a starter on the Dallas Wings. So there's trouble over there in Paradise because now you got Arike over there. It was MVP in the All-Star game, but since Miller's come on board, right? And also Kurt Koclanes, her numbers have completely suppressed. She's not even the same player anymore. This story, there's trouble in Dallas because, one, the pressure is on that Dallas, do they have the financials or will they be swallowed up by the Dallas Mavericks or have to partner? This one here is going to get really, really interesting because the combination of coach and GM that they have in Dallas now, it's not working. And when the fans are cheering for the assistant coach and you have Kurt Miller hearing that, who's the first-year GM, it's not working. Sometimes you can promote someone and it doesn't work out to its best. But manipulation of players, sitting players on the bench, devaluing a player's career for the sake of promoting someone that's already been cut twice doesn't make any sense. And guess what? The outcome is you have the rest of the players have shut down. Now, when you look at this and players start shutting down, okay, and Paige Beckers is not going to hold her tongue. She's going to speak her mind. She's number one pick in the draft, and she's like, this is ridiculous, right? But at the end of the day, Dallas scored 78 points, 17 in the third. They're not shooting it very well, and they're not playing well as a team. And again, they've got J.J. Quinterly and Elijah James on the bottom. They both need to be moved out of the organization. I have no idea why you would draft them. I have no idea why you would draft them and sign Dejanay, and I have no idea why you would draft them and also draft Paige Beckers as number one when you know they're both point guards, but you're putting her at the one. This has caused all this confusion of why Dallas is losing because it's a manipulation effort and it's been called out by the fans. And when the fans speak, it's time to listen because Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast has told you the fans are the product. They're the product, not the players, right? So, and the players are screaming, support us, and they're like, no, we've paid way too much money to watch this. And that's where you got to realize sometimes the players in the WNBA thinking, well, they're here to please us. No, they're here to please the fans. And when the fans have drawn it, now Dallas Wings are in a deeper hole, and there's a whole lot of trouble in Paradise.